you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Yes. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Let's all say thank you.
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 I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
Grateful.
Let's all say thank you. 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 Thank you.
Whew. So I say thank you for joining in. Thank you for the clapping that brings a heartbeat to the moment. Thank you for singing along, which brings your heart to the moment. This is a beautiful day. It truly is. And you know that I love Sundays. How do you feel about Sundays? Ah, I do too. I absolutely adore Sundays. Do you know what happens on Sunday? Well, here at Unity of Pasadena, just so all the live streaming people know, we get to see and hug our friends. We get to look in their eyes and say, how are you really doing? How's your authentic self? What's going on in your life? How is it unfolding for you? Is there anything I can do to help? Because I sure like the way you react to the things that are going on today. I want to be like you. I mean, we're doing that to everybody. You know, as we see one another, we recognize the God stirring in each of us. We recognize the forward motion, the evolution of life through us as us. That's what we do here at Unity of Pasadena. It is so nice. It really is. And so we just say thank you for all of that. And that song does it as well as anything. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Mitch. We appreciate you bringing that for us. Well, I'm welcoming each and every one of you that are here and each and every one of you that are present via live stream. And those of you that may see this or hear this by some electronic means down the road, because we have that happening, you know. We have a podcast you can click on the website, which is just the talk, just my truth talk. And we have Facebook, which you can access in the moment as a live element, or you can go to Unity of Pasadena and the website and pick it up there on a recording basis. And so we also have YouTube. Did you know this is on YouTube too? Did you guys know that? Yeah, okay, well, fantastic. So we're covering the panoply of places where this can be accessed. And we love that because we take advantage of all of the things that are popping up in the world, you know. We are open to new things. There's one thing I really like about you guys. We are always open to something that works better, you know, and we try it. And if it doesn't work better, fine, we go back to whatever it was. You know, it's okay. This is not something that we have to invest in so solidly that we can't move out of it. That's what this teaching is about, choice, changing your mind, having a different experience. That's what we do here. And so we don't get so solidly entrenched that we have no way to do things differently. Yes. So welcome to Unity of Pasadena. Now we here at Unity of Pasadena do believe in unity. And I have a statement of unity that I like to use, and I want you to join me in it. There's only one thing. It may look like more than one thing. It may feel like more than one thing. But it's only one thing. Expressing as you, expressing as me, and everything we see. Don't those words just bring you closer to that oneness experience? They do for me. They truly do for me. They allow me to look at each one of you and say, brother, sister, you are me. You are spirit in operation. You are God in essence. Each of us is made of source, and we express source. And that's kind of what we're doing here today at Unity of Pasadena. We're doing what has been called the 12 Powers. It's from a book that Charles Fillmore wrote by the same name, the 12 Powers. And those particular faculties of human beings are also elements of the Christ experience, meaning they are the way God shows up in the world in a godly fashion. And so during this time of Lent to come here, we're going to be talking about these principles that can bring us closer to that Christ consciousness idea. Lent is about finding the Christ in you. We go through that experience through the booklet that's available at the back table for you if you'd like one of those booklets. We go through that experience over the course of 40 days. Begins Ash Wednesday. It begins Ash Wednesday and it ends in Easter. So that truly is a demonstration of the action necessary in order to find that Christ consciousness, what we're really looking for. And so I decided we were going to do the 12 powers. And today's first power is faith. And I'm really interested in giving that to you because I got some new ideas about what that looks like and how it feels and what you're really doing in this world. So welcome to all of that. I'm so excited. So we have a unity blessing I'd like to start with here. Please say with me, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you just the way you are. I love that word, us. We can use that from now on. I love us. You know, the J just has that heavy sound to it, you know, the j, j, j. Us is so much more calming. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I don't know, but I love it. I just love it. We also have a statement of faith I'd like you to join me in. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God the good omnipotence. And I am one with that presence and power. So how we get one with that presence and power in mind and in heart is to pray. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that right now. And in order to kick us off for that, Brett, would you please ring the gong? Ah. Ooh, man. Yeah. That's how you do music. That's how you do it. Oh, that allows us to take a nice deep breath and release it. Sink deeper into your seats and just relax. One more deep breath. And release all it took to get here. And feel the presence of God in this very space. The presence of God in you. The presence of God everywhere. For God is all that is. Some say that God is love. All right, I'll take that. Feel the love within you. Feel that love. As you feel the love, you feel the presence of God in yourself. Just let it fly out into the ethers as we allow everyone else to feel our love. Yes, we are living the life of God in, around, and through us as us, and we're so thankful for that. We're also thankful for our board of trustees that make sure that everything is working perfectly here at Unity of Pasadena. We're thankful for the congregation, each and every one of you, and those that are on live stream who absolutely contribute the consciousness of love and joy and compassion, not only to this community, but to the surrounding community. That is such a benefit to all. We're so thankful for our prayer chaplains who hold the light. You saw them as we were doing the song. Each prayer chaplain has a sacred duty within to give what it is that they can to connect with Spirit and help anyone who might need help. And they're always available after service. We're so thankful for our volunteers. We're thankful for those who bring their skills with PowerPoint and with sound and all of the things that are necessary for us to do the live streaming. We're so grateful. And we're especially grateful as well for our musicians that just bring the heart to the moment, always allowing that beauty and love to flow through us as we listen and become a part of this service. And so we have a lot to be grateful for. I just sink into that gratitude right now, and I let it all go with faith, knowing that it's already done. And please say with me, and so it is. Amen. Whew. All right, so gotta love it. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, this is a quick change. Yeah, we're gonna do the question first. Yeah, and do you remember when I said we're going to change the order of service and it's not going to be like a tattoo? You know, I mean, it's like you can take it off if you want, you can change it and all that kind of thing. You know, so when we find something that we really want to illustrate and feel, we go with it. So it was the thinking that if I do the question, the 3-minute question right now, it allows us to have a block of real spiritual moment with the daily word and the meditation with no interruption. And so we're going to be doing it that way today, and we'll see how it works. So we're going to do the 3-minute question. Are you ready? Anybody timing? I know Jackie is. Jackie's timing. So I want to introduce you to the fish. Yeah, this is... I think it's a whale. Does anybody know the name of the whale that swallowed Jonah? Did that have a name? Bomb? Bomb, it could be. It could be the bomb. Could be. Yeah. So I don't think there ever was a name attributed to it, but this is it. This is the whale that swallowed the questions, okay? So I'm going to sneak in here like this, and thank you, Clifta, for bringing this magnificent fish article, because she saw me digging into a vase, just a typical vase, and said, that's just not sufficient. That is not enough. I mean, we got to go with the fish theme. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. So the whale has given up a question. Here we go. Ooh. How do I take my intellectual understanding of unity principles and move toward a more heart-centered understanding? Wow. You know, I have to say that this is such a prescient question. It's such a beautiful question because it recognizes the problem from time to time that theologians have, that ministers have, that religious people inside any organization have, which is to find that they're using the intellect more than they are the heart. You know, so there are some theologians that I have read, some philosophers I've read who say things like, at the end of their lives, I wish I had spent more time on the heart, you know, on the closeness, on the connection with one another, of seeing these principles that I've always been talking about, not just as intellectual exercises, but as things that can draw us together. And so what we're doing today and the rest of the next 12 weeks is actually an exercise in exactly that, bringing an understanding to the heart of all of the properties, if you will, of a spiritual awakening, all of the properties of a connection with Source that will allow you to demonstrate in a more adequate way the Christ-like consciousness that we're all seeking. And when I say that, I'm not talking about necessarily just the Jesus in our lives. I'm talking about the God in each one of us that is the Christ consciousness. Expressing it as me is my goal. I mean, I'm not Jesus, but I can do what he did. You're not Jesus, but you can do what he did. And what that means is that this beautiful Christ consciousness expressing as me, expressing as each one of you, is going to look a little bit different, but it's going to feel like love. It's going to feel like love. That's the heart-centered expression. So we practice these principles in order to feel that we're bringing it closer to the vest, that we are actually doing something rather than parsing it in our minds only, understanding it intellectually. But what do I do next? Well, you do it. That's what you do. When the opportunity arises, you step in with faith that you can be of service. When the opportunity arises, you step in with faith that you have wisdom within. Sometimes that wisdom is just being quiet. Sometimes that wisdom is bringing your own experience to the moment. We always know that wisdom is not judgment. We always know that. So how do we bring the heart to this teaching? We live it. We live it. Yeah. How'd I do?
3 minutes, 33 seconds.
Oh, I'm shocked you didn't cut me off. I mean, what would this have been without the last 33 seconds? Seriously. I mean, how? Yeah. See, there's the intellectual at work here, so. So now.
I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith. I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith. I have hope. I pray hope. I choose hope. I am hope. I have hope. I pray hope. I choose hope. I am hope. When I trust, then I let go. I know all is well. I have love. I pray love. I choose love. I am love. I have love. I pray love. I choose love. I am love. You are love. We are love. All God's children are love. You are love. We are love. All God's children are love. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well.
So Michelle, you're doing you're doing daily word today. I am. And Jackie, you're doing meditation today. So I leave it to you.
Hello, little whale. I can't help it. I love animals and fish and birds and bees and Today, Sunday, February 4th, 2024, joy. Joy is mine through all the seasons of life. Throughout my life, joy is always part of me, like the sun that is always shining, even when obscured by clouds. Joy is there in my happiest moments and also during my darker times. It keeps me present to life as it unfolds, responsive and adaptive, accepting what I cannot change and having the courage to change what I can. Much more than a feeling, joy is part of me, a way to feel the presence of God and live from my spirituality. Joy is the anchor that keeps me rooted in peace and wholeness, and the wings that help me soar through the open skies of imagination and choice. My spiritual identity has its foundation in the divine idea of joy, and I carry it with me wherever I go and whatever I do. You show me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. Psalm chapter 16, verse 11.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to start off with something a tad different this morning. We have so many prayer chaplains at this center. Did you know that we have 9 of them and soon to be 10? And we have lots of ways to receive prayer. Now, one of the ways is this prayer card in front of you where you're sitting. And you can either put this prayer card in the offering basket or there's a prayer box in the foyer. We also, it's hidden down here in the bottom of your program, but we have a prayer line that our wonderful Michelle checks every single day that you could call in for a prayer. And we provide prayer after the service if you would like to sit in your seats. And our prayer chaplains are praying for you 24 hours a day. When this card comes in, by the end of the day on Sunday, we are praying for you. All of us are. So please join in on that. And now let's do our prayer of St. Francis, please. If you join me, God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine presence, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is through grace that we are given new life. Now I'm going to read a short meditation, and then we're going to go right into our 2 minutes of silence. So close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Take a nice deep breath in, release. And this meditation is a circle of love. See yourself standing in a safe space. Release burdens, any pains, any fears. Release any negative addictions and patterns. Let them fall away from you. Then see yourself standing in your safe place with your arms wide open, saying to yourself, I am open and I am receptive to love. Declaring for yourself what it is you desire. Not what you don't desire, but what you do desire. And know that it is possible. See yourself whole and healthy, at peace. See yourself filled with love. All we need is one idea to change our lives. On this planet, we can be in a circle of hate, or we can be in a circle of love and healing. I choose to be in a circle of love. I realize that everyone wants the same things that I want, love. We want to express ourselves in ways that are fulfilling. We want to be peaceful and safe. And in this space, this community, this center, this church, feel your connection with the people sitting next to you on your right, on your left, in front of you, or behind you. And as your love goes out, know that it comes back to you multiplied. In the affirmation, I send comforting thoughts to everyone, and know that these thoughts are returning to me. See the world becoming an incredible circle of light. Gently open your eyes. Thank you.
I will trust in the Spirit. I will open my heart. I will always remember the truth of God that has brought me this far. So lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. Lead me on this path of light. I'll shine a light in the darkness. I will bring forth the truth. I will always honor the beauty of light that I see in you. So lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. Lead me on this path of light. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. Lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. All I know is love. All I know is love. All I know is love and grace. Namaste.
Wow. Well, that's not a bad tune to have running around in your head for the rest of the day. All I know is love and grace. Wow. Well, we get to make choices about what it is we're feeling in the moment. And, sometimes, though, we need a little bit of help to move into that space, and music does that so beautifully. The words of the songs, the melody, and in concert with beautiful musicians, becomes a vehicle. It becomes a space where we can actually connect more fully with the divine, connect more fully with each other, connect more fully with what's going to happen up here next, you see? And that's a really great segue. We're going to be talking about faith today. So faith. The first power of the 12 powers. And I already mentioned we're going to be doing a recitation over the next 12 weeks of the 12 powers, but Charles Fillmore chose faith as the number one week, the number one power to discuss in his treatises. And he felt that it was perhaps the cornerstone of everything that we do in life itself. The cornerstone of everything we do if we're going to separate our religion or spirituality from life, the cornerstone of what we do in those areas as well. I like to think that we're using faith as a principle, not just in this space here at Unity of Pasadena, not just in the way we read sacred texts, but the way we do life. I like to think that faith is something that we recognize in the things that we do, and something that we clearly can practice once we recognize it. So Charles Fillmore decided that in this book he'd get a little woo-woo too. He sort of got a little bit woo-woo. I love it. I love the idea that he decided that he was going to pick particular parts of the body that are the faith centers or the imagination centers or the hope center or the love center, whatever it is that the principle might be that we're doing. He has a place in the body for it. And that's pretty cool because those really kind of correspond with chakras. And so what that does is bring us to kind of an Eastern understanding of where he spent his time in mind, in thought, in his heart. And that's cool too, because if it's going to be unity, then it probably should include all sorts of things. And so he decided that this should be connected to the pineal gland, which is at the base of the brain, the pineal gland. Faith should be in the pineal gland. And that's a really interesting decision that he made, because he must have made it before science determined that a lot of things that are interesting to this idea of faith are going on in that gland. And he couldn't have known about that. He really couldn't have known about it. But he thought this is probably where, if it's happening intellectually, if it's happening in the heart, where the two are combined and the two will meet in the body, the heart and the mind. The question, right? The question we just answered, or at least attempted to answer, was how do we make this more heart-centered? Well, Charles Fillmore felt that way too. So the pineal gland is a place where the crown chakra resides as well. And that crown chakra is symbolic of where meditation and prayer begin, symbolic of where faith is a process that must be abided when practicing meditation and prayer. And so it couldn't be in a better spot. The pineal gland at the base of the brain. He also decided that he was going to assign a color to it, which I think is pretty cool too, because I love the idea that something can have a connection with a color. Anybody ever done color meditations where you actually see you have, Anita, fantastic. Some people actually see colors in people. I know people who in this very room who can see auras, essentially, on people and of different colors. I mean, there's a color associated with what's going on in our consciousness. And the color of deep blue was chosen by Charles Fillmore for faith because it reminds us that everything's going to be okay. At a very deep level, everything is as it should be. This is the spiritual understanding of what's going on with this idea of faith. I mean, if you're going to have faith in something that's going to help you along the way, then that should be where you begin, that everything's going to be okay. You know, there's a guy that I really enjoy, and I've mentioned him before, Andrew Huberman, who talks about what positivity or positive thinking is all about. And he said it's essentially the idea that you have fixed in mind, that you go to and know that everything's going to be okay. It doesn't have to be happy thoughts all the time. It's just so that you know in your deepest heart of hearts that everything's going to be okay. It's going to unfold just fine. I mean, if you're going to have some faith in something right now, can you believe in that? Can you have faith in that? Can you trust that? Hasn't it been what you've experienced during your life? That everything's going to be all right? You know, faith is something you can see in the rest of the world, too, not just in yourself and people and in definitions of faith. a guy that I really like, Douglas Bodorf. You guys have heard me talk about him before. I found him while I was in the Unity Seminary because I had to do a paper on a contemporary, somebody who's alive, New Thought writer, a Unity writer. He's a Unity minister in Colorado. And he defines in his book, The Complete Soul, which I think is a great read. I really enjoy it because he talks a lot about the 12 powers. But he defines faith in an interesting way. And he says, practically speaking, faith is that ever-expansive urge for greater freedom we observe in ourselves and in all life forms. It pushes the seedling up through the safety of the soil into a different and much broader world. Faith does that. That plant is demonstrating faith through its own actions. It nudges the fledgling eagle to launch from its nest-centered universe and invoke laws of flight that until that critical moment lay dormant. Our soul's inherent faith expresses as the assurance that the necessary supply and conditions required to support our sojourn into the material dimension are always going to be here. Faith is the word we apply to the soul's intrinsic knowing that our needs will be met, our journey successful, come what may. In taking a look at this faith thing, I took it across the board. I took this experience across the board, looking at different religious traditions, looking at different writers, philosophers, even psychologists, and came across some really interesting ideas that I think we should talk about. So, how do I use an experience in the moment? Okay, I got it. I'm going to use this experience in the moment so that you understand how faith is operating in the real world. And all of these experiences I'm going to be talking about here are actually how you see faith operating through each and every one of you, maybe even you, and how you see it in the moment when other people are operating through faith. So there would be no reason for Christy and Mitch to come to a church and play beautiful music that they've selected that will coincide with the talk that I'm going to give if they did not have faith that it would bring a larger, deeper spiritual experience. You just wouldn't do this. You'd find yourself at a piano bar somewhere, or you'd go somewhere else. Really, I mean it. I mean, why would they come here to do that? Why would you come here to do that if you didn't have faith that you were going to bring a wider, deeper, more connected experience? I know you do. And as I say this, you go, oh yeah, I know. I do have faith that's going to happen. That's why I do it. That's why I show up. So, any teachers in here? Yeah, I know a bunch of teachers, right? You might want to cop to that, maybe not. Administrators, yeah. Teachers, they have to have faith that when they spend their lives standing in front of malleable children or those that are interested in becoming something other than what they are today, they have to have faith that what they're presenting is going to help them in that process. They have to see in their mind's eye and their hearts a finished product, which has some connection to a whole human being. Am I right? Did you not do it because of that? Yes, you did. Did you not have faith that this would happen when you did it? All right, let's bring it to a wider array of understanding here in the Unity system. I'll call it a system for the moment. So, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore had healing experiences, had spiritual experiences, which brought them to a level of understanding that they wished to share. They recognized that there is a goal, if you will, for all human beings, and that's to uncover whatever it is that's in there. We call it the Christ consciousness, that God being within us, that perfect human being, that absolute knowing, that connection with authentic life. It's in there. It's in there. The Christ consciousness is here. Jesus said it would be, and it is. His entire goal was to allow people to find a way to do that, to experience the Christ consciousness in themselves, to understand their own God self, their own knowing of who they truly are at depth. Oh, so they stepped into it in a big way. I mean, Myrtle started writing letters so that she could help people to heal. I mean, that's an aspect of faith that we all absolutely know well and enjoy. There's Charles Fillmore, who bought land in order to set up a unity village so people could come and have an experience where they could actually have an evolutionary moment in their lives, have a spiritual change. He wrote book after book after book, gave talk after talk after talk, taught amazing teachers, and subjected himself to some discussions with amazing teachers himself so that he could bring a true message. And that true message was all about who you are at depth, and how you cover up what it is that you really are, and how you can uncover it so you can merge yourself and align yourself with this God self, this God consciousness, and your life will unfold in an amazing way. That's what he knew would happen if he stepped into doing what he did. Do you think he would have done that just because he didn't have anything to do? Is that why he did that? No, he did that because he knew that inside each and every one of us was a kernel of this perfect being, was this God self that just needed unlocking. I mean, look what it's become. It's become a worldwide phenomenon. You combine that with other new thought traditions which bring the same message, and you've got yourself something that's out there. All you got to do is listen. All you got to do is participate, and then start to practice the things that are taught in these rooms, in these churches, in these sanctuaries. All right, so let's take it a little bit deeper. A little deeper. Do you think that Jesus would have rounded up 12 disciples and started engaging in some pretty dangerous activity that dealt with telling people the truth of their being, describing to them what they really, really are, and having his disciples learn this idea that they are that which God is? They are the Christ consciousness at depth. Do you think he would have taught them such that they could go out into the rest of the world when he was gone and give that message to others, had he not had faith that it would be actually accomplished? No, he wouldn't have done. Why would he have wasted his time? He could easily have just said, all right, I'm going to go back to my carpentry business, or whatever he was doing. I'm going to marry and have a family and just do some other things. This is too dangerous. No. I mean, whether this happened or not, what this is a absolute demonstration of faith in action. You see? Stepping into this thing, this difficult situation, knowing that this can be transmitted, that people can have a different idea, that peace can be the conclusion of all of this. It doesn't have to always be war. The Prince of Peace brought everything to the table, not just because he didn't have anything to do, but because he had faith that you and I could understand it. And I think we do at a deep level, because we can actually practice these things that are given to us. We can actually do that. I mean, this is how you see faith in the world. I see faith everywhere when I understand this principle as being that which motivates us to live and to take that step onto the bridge that connects who I am now to who I want to be. That bridge is that bridge of faith. I could take a walk on that thing. So I see that definition of faith everywhere. Sometimes I find myself thinking, well, isn't faith really an expectation? That's really another way of looking at it. Isn't faith really an expectation? when it says you've got to have faith in order for your prayers to be answered, doesn't that mean that you have to expect it to come? Isn't that why Jesus said, pray as if you've already got it? I mean, which puts the expectation itself in the prayer. You know, I've already got it. I mean, this is thank you, God, thank you. Thank you for what I have. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this beautiful congregation. Thank you for this beautiful music. Thank you for this beautiful life. My expectation. It's my expectation. A lot of those things haven't happened yet. See, it's my expectation. I'm thanking through a prayer process. So faith can be an expectation, can't it be? I mean, we use it that way when you sit around and you wait for a prayer chaplain to come to you. It's usually about something unfolding a little bit differently than it's been unfolding in your life. And what you want to do is see something different. And that prayer chaplain will help you set an expectation that you can dig into and have faith in, that you can see yourself as. That prayer chaplain will help you to get to a place where you may not have been in mind because you're in the problem, not the solution, you see. Prayer chaplain will take you there. Prayer, effective affirmative prayer, will take you there. So that's another definition of faith, having faith as an expectation. Yeah. And then there's a faith that is absolutely magnificent and beautiful, and I just love this. And somehow this sort of aligned with the stars with Black History Month too, and I absolutely love it. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. said, you don't have to see the stairway in order to take the first step. You don't have to do that. You don't have to see what's going to unfold before you even step into the arena. You don't have to do that. You just have to take the first step. You know, and when he came forward and said, this has got to be a peaceful change. It's got to be not a revolution of guns and violence, but a revolution of consciousness, of love. He understood exactly what we needed as a people, not to fight against each other. I mean, America fighting against each other. You know, we don't need another civil war. We don't fight against each other. We work with one another. If we wish to see change, we step into it, even if we can't see what it is yet. So where do we see that in Scripture, for instance? And I call it Scripture because that's sort of traditional, you know. So we see that in the prodigal son. I mean, I love the prodigal son for what it brings to us. It brings so many different principles to us from a metaphysical standpoint. You know, some people say, well, metaphysically, I know what the prodigal son means. It means God's forgiveness. It absolutely is about God's forgiveness. It's not about whether or not there were two sons and whether or not one left. It's not about that. It's about God's forgiveness. It's a much, much larger message. Well, how about this message? See, when you look at things from a metaphysical standpoint, you get to step into each character. We've talked about that before. You get to step into each character and see if that character has something to teach you. So step into the son that left's character. He went through some degradation. He was feeding pigs. He was out of money. He didn't know what to do because he'd used his inheritance on things that he shouldn't have used it on. Are you with me with the story? Do you know where we are in the story? Yeah? You know, he got his inheritance from his dad, and then he went out and was engaged in all kinds of debauchery. Lost everything, ended up doing the worst thing you can possibly do as a Jew, that's tending pigs, unclean animals. He'd had enough. So he subjected himself to the unknown, which was going back to his father, going back to his family. He subjected himself to something that he believed in the moment that he would be chastised and maybe even barred from conversation or from the home of his father based upon what he had done. But nevertheless, he took that first step. Then he took the next step, all in the direction of his father. Each step a step of faith. Each step a step of faith. And when he got there, what did he find? It wasn't his expectation, but it was something that does unfold if you just take the step that's necessary in the moment. He found forgiveness. Yes, he did. But I think that this is a potent story of trusting what that first step will guide you toward. You know, I say all the time to people who are in pain and have difficulty that just do the right thing. Do the next indicated thing. Take the next step in the direction you want to go and toward who you want to be. I say that all the time. I don't use the word faith, but that's what it is. If I use the word faith, a lot of people would say, oh, this is another religious lesson, you know? Another religious, no, it's not a religious lesson. What it is the truth. If you want something to unfold and it's on the other side of the bridge, walk toward it. So I don't know who it was that said, with the question was asked, how do I get to Rome? I don't really know. Just make sure every step is in the direction of Rome. So, faith. What a cool principle, huh? I mean, the faith is the principle that brings us to connect with Peter, the first disciple. Brings us to connect with this idea that we are cool in the deep blue waters of faith. I love it. I love you. You know, the God in me sees the God in you. Thank you very much. All right, so who's ushing today? We got Trish. Trish is ushing. Trish is a profoundly great usheress. Thank you, Trish. Woo-hoo. She has her implements here. I always say it looks like a lacrosse basket, you know. It looks like you're about ready to go out and play lacrosse. But it's to catch all the blessings. You see, it's to catch all the blessings. So we are doing... Oh, here we go. These are people on live stream. You want to know who's on live stream? Of course you do. Gay's on live stream. Gay, hey, Gay, hey, Gay. Oh, Audrey, it's so good to see you in our hearts, Audrey. We have Anita Arakawa and we have Colleen. Oh, we have so many to come. We know that Charles DeTurk is going to be on here too from Michigan. We know that because he checks in when he watches this. Many people from other states check in and they leave their name, and so I get to see them later on down the road. But there are lots of we see yous that are owed to those aren't here yet. So we see you, we feel you. This is what the basket's for, isn't it? Yeah, the basket is so that we can celebrate our community. We celebrate what we do for this community together. We celebrate what this community does for our hearts and our minds. We celebrate what this community does for the widest area around us and, nay, the universe itself, because we bring a consciousness of love, and it's powerful. So we have a saying that goes along with it. God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful. And so it is.
So it is. Life is in me, moving through me, beyond question, steady and strong. Power and presence is my essence, been within me all along. What is there to be afraid of? Pure light is what we are made of. Life is in you. Can't you feel it? Look inside you, look around. Power and presence is our essence. Where we stand is holy ground. What is there to be afraid of? Pure light is what we are made of. What is there to be afraid of? Nothing. Pure light is what we are made of. Yes, we are. We are made of pure light. We are made of pure light. Sing it with me. We are made of pure light. We are made of pure light. Pure light. Pure light. Pure light.
Pure light, that's who you are. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Trish. So what we do is we just promise to use these tithes and treasures with integrity from the heart. We know that they're utilized for the benefit of not only this community, but the community at large, that it brings an ability to send the message. We do this with faith, to send a message of goodness and love and compassion and beauty. We do this here at Unity of Pasadena, and we do it through our faith. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So, Barbara, are you doing our community? Come on up. I will say, step up to the mic.
Okay. I learned my lesson. I put it on the second shelf. Okay. Throughout this wonderful service, we've seen our vision, our mission, and our core values demonstrated. So let's take a moment now and affirm them together. Our mission is envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission is transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truth of divine wisdom, compassion, and love, using practical spiritual principles. And our core values are creating community, living love, teaching truth, and serving spirit. And then we all get together to share that in our hospitality time. And thank you, Team A, B, and C, who's taking care of today with bringing food and setting up and serving and cleaning up. We appreciate you. And next week, Team D through J will be taking the lead on doing those things. So, again, thank you, everyone, and stay around, enjoy each other, and, because the rain's coming, so you may as well just stay dry and have some wonderful food and hospitality, as well as staying around for tea time today, where Luann, in the pink over there, will be leading that service. And I want to bring your attention to the fact that we have a new bulletin for the month of February that's got all the wonderful things happening that month in it, one of which is Membership Sunday, which is February the 11th, and we'll be celebrating new members and all of our members. And thank you, everyone who turned in their membership forms, including Jackie and Greg today. Well, we could give you a blank one today. Or we can give you a blank one today and save a stamp. Whatever serves us all best. Okay. All right. Another very different thing we have coming up. We haven't gotten together on a Wednesday evening since the Worldwide Day of Prayer back in September of last year. So we're going to be celebrating at least part of Valentine's Day here in the church with a unique experience of Ash Wednesday, or the beginning of this period called Lent. And so we invite you at 7:30 that day. I think it'll be something that you will really want to do. And then that whole week of the second week of February is busy. It ends with Gal Sasson and his presentation on relationships. So he'll make a presentation on how to use the mystical traditions in attracting and harmonizing our relationships and our partnerships. And so sign up if you haven't. If you tried to sign up last week, on the day that they happened to have been working on our platform and, it wasn't working, it was just a one-day event, and it was our provider doing upgrades. So come back, sign up, and we'll see you that evening. So one thing that Reverend Greg mentioned when he was speaking was this book, this 40 Days of Let Go, Let God, and that we were handing out as you came in. Those of you who are online who aren't able to get in here, we have about 10 of you who, you regularly are with us in one way or another, and yours is in the mail. But I'd like to send an invitation to all of those who we don't really know who you are, but if what you've been hearing appeals to you, if you would like to get one of these books for yourself, and let me put in a little bit of a plug. I was going through it. It's all about letting go and letting God. And so if any of these situations perhaps apply to you, even just one of them, here's some of the topics. There's something for every single day. Letting go of shame, resentment, complaining, sorrow, resistance, anxiety, grudge, discouragement, loneliness. It goes on. And then on the Sundays, there is a special article written by experiences that Jesus had with 4 specific ones. And the first Sunday is letting go of ego. The second one is letting go of the need for approval of others. The third is worry. Another one is fear. And there's also a special one for Easter Sunday. So if you would like to have one out there in our online world, you can go to our website where our phone number is and our email is, and just contact the office. And the sooner you do it, the sooner we'll put it in the mail to you when you give us your address. Okay? That's all I have, Reverend Greg. I'll turn it back over to you.
And of course, you can have faith that the mail will be delivered. No matter the weather, huh? So we're going to all stand for our silent unity prayer for protection, please. And then what are we going to sing today? Oh, we're going to sing the peace song. All right, we love peace. Please join me. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy.